If we are asked to define the word super budget phones or phones that are less than 5,000 pesos, you will associate it with a dull screen, small storage, poor design, and most importantly, weak performance. But can the Narzo 50i Prime change the way we look upon this category of phones? Well, there's only one way to find out. Hey guys, James here, your tech buddy, and this is Tech M.N.O. Let's unbox and see what to expect on this affordable smartphone. We will start the video with a quick unboxing. Here's the retail packaging of the Narzo 50i Prime. The one that I have here is the 3GB RAM 32GB storage in dark blue. Opening the box now, we are greeted with a smaller box that contains the SIM ejector tool and some paperwork. Up next, the phone itself that we will put on the side for now. And finally, a micro USB cable. Do keep in mind that there's no adapter, headphones, and a jelly case included on the box. And that's about it for the unboxing. Before we start the review, a quick disclaimer that this device was not sponsored nor provided by Narzo, Realme, or any other retailers here in the Philippines. All of the things I'll say are mine only, and they don't have any inputs nor advanced copies of this video. And if you're interested in getting this affordable smartphone now, I will have an affiliate link down in the video description below. Alright, let's start the video now with the segment that I always put last on my other videos, and that's the price. At the time of this recording, the Narzo 50i Prime is priced at 3,899 pesos or 66 US dollars converted. Yes, it's not a typo here, $66. And I know you're wondering, James, why are you revealing the price too early? It's because I want to set your expectations early while we proceed to the whole review that this is a budget phone that's below 5,000 pesos and avoid early judgments on this device. With that out of the way, let's talk about the design. The Narzo 50i Prime at first glance is a well-built smartphone weighing in at about 182 grams. Even though the flat side and rounded frame is made from plastic. Plus point to Narzo that the back is a matte finish, plus an added crisscross lighting effect here that kind of reminds me of a spotlight on the sky at night. The texture line, so it adds an extra grip when holding the phone that almost looks like luggage in my opinion. I really like the color here on this phone too. It's the perfect balance of light and darker shades of blue for me. But if blue is not your cup of tea, it's also available in a mint green color as well. Button and port placements are as follows. On the right side is where the volume rocker and the power button are located. On the left side is a triple SIM tray for 2 SIMs and micro SD card. And the bottom part is the headphone jack, microphone hole, a single speaker, and a micro USB port. Overall, I kind of impressed by it except that this phone has a micro USB port, no fingerprint scanner, and the buttons are quite soft and mushy when pressed. But I just remembered that this is a phone below 5,000 pesos, so I forget the compromises here. Let's move on with its display. The Narzo 50i Prime has a 6.5-inch HD Plus IPS panel with a 720p resolution up to 400 nits of brightness and a pixel density of 270 ppi. To keep the explanation simple for the average consumer, yes, you may see some pixels when you inspect it, but since this is an IPS panel, there's no poor viewing angles when you tilt the sideways. The colors are vibrant and sharp enough when you're watching videos on YouTube. The only missing features here are a good sunlight readability, Gorilla Glass protection, higher refresh rate display, wideband L1 certification, and a small forehead and chin. But do keep in mind again that we're dealing with an affordable device here, so I don't mind if these features aren't present in under $100 phone. Alright, let's talk about the other hardware specs of the Narzo 50i Prime. The single speaker on this phone is usable or decent in that manner. Though if you're watching movies, I highly suggest using the headphone jack, which is also decent enough with the audio quality. In the connectivity aspects of the phone, in terms of the Wi-Fi frequency, the 5 GHz dual band Wi-Fi is missing here. It only supports 2.4 GHz band. LTE band frequencies are complete here, and the signal stability in the Bluetooth 5 connection is good here too. But unfortunately, there's no NFC in this phone. Before we go any further, if you enjoy watching this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get you notified when a brand new video will come out. And follow us on our social media accounts like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at TechM.N.O for more content and big giveaways that we have right now that you can check out in the card right here. Alright, let's talk about the software of the Narzo 50i Prime. This runs in a special Ori edition of Realme UI on top of Android 11. I really don't know why it's called Ori edition, but when you look up on GSM Arena, it indicates that it's a Realme UI Go edition, though rather than the Go versions of the default Google apps pre-installed, it's the regular versions instead. quite confusing. But the bottom line here is it looks like a stock Android with slight hint of the Realme UI core but without the other features like game mode, floating windows, and clone apps. But one thing that I'm pissed off with their software is even though it's a budget device, Narzo still puts a ton of bloatware on the phone. More than 24 apps if you want the numbers. Plus the fact that you need one extra step to uninstall the app is quite tedious. I just wish that just would include it if you will press and hold to delete an app. Let's talk about the storage of the phone right now. The Narzo 50i Prime in the Philippines only comes in one storage and RAM configuration, and that's a 3GB RAM and 32GB storage variant, but that's expandable by a microSD card slot up to 1TB. The good thing here in this segment is the decision to put a UFS 2.2 type of storage rather using an eMMC for faster reading and writing speed to the files inside of your phone. However, even though if it has a faster file memory on this device, I cannot let the small storage slide here. Yes, this is a budget phone, but having a ton of bloatware pre-installed on the phone, the remaining phone storage here when I install TikTok, Twitter, and Mobile Legends for testing is almost 4GB left. So when I try to install Call of Duty Mobile, there's some resources that weren't downloaded on this phone. I even removed some apps too. I really wish they would just give this phone at least 64GB. Going with the camera now, the Narzo 50i Prime, you can only get the bare minimum here. A single 8MP camera on the back, and on the front is a 5MP selfie shooter that's inside of a teardrop notch. The photo results that I got for both cameras have summed up into 3 words: decent, acceptable, usable. Day shots with this phone's rear camera are hit or miss in terms of details, subject separation, and quality, even though there's a touch to focus feature on the camera app. Night shots though are grainy and muddy even if you will use the night mode here. The selfie camera too is decent, but I suggest not to take photos on a very hot sunny background because the background will blow out you very hard like in this photo. On the night shots though, it's salvageable but kinda expected. On the video aspect of the camera, both phones have a maximum resolution of 1080p at 30 frames per second. Again, both of them are usable enough, but not groundbreaking though. Here's the sample video test for the Narzo 50i Prime. So this is 1080p at 30 frames per second. I just go ahead, turn around. So what are your thoughts about the audio and video quality of this video? Sound off in the comment section down below. Now we're down to the 2 major segments of the review. So let's start off with the performance. The Narzo 50i Prime is powered by the Unisoc Tiger T612 processor paired with Mali G57 GPU. If you're not a tech enthusiast like me, you may not heard of this brand of chipset in the market. But don't worry though, this isn't a slouch in terms of day-to-day performance like multitasking and opening of apps thanks to the part of UFS storage and an almost stock Android UI here. It's also smooth, it can sometimes remember the last app you used after a certain period of time, and almost lag-free in my 7 days of use. In terms of gaming though, it can carry some games like Mobile Legends up to high graphics and high frame rate with little to no lag or stuttering as seen in the sample gaming test. However, for some shooter games like Call of Duty Mobile, the ones that I can recommend are the lowest setting for a smoother performance. Also, that's the time I use with Apex Legends Mobile. It's only available, or I can recommend, the smooth graphic settings here. And last but certainly not the least, the battery and charging of the Narzo 50i Prime. It has a beefy 5,000 mAh battery capacity with a modest 10W charging on the phone. Since there's no charger in the box, you can use any other generic adapters you have on your house. Make sure that it's 10W and up for the maximum power the phone needs. The good news is the battery life of this phone can last for 2 days if you will use it on a light to casual scenario. For heavier usage, watching movies or playing games in that manner, the average screen on time you can get is between 7 to 8 hours on a single charge. But with that great screen on time comes the slow charging pain to this device. From 20% to full, it took me an average of 2.5 hours. So if you will use it early in the morning, you better charge the phone before bedtime or charge this overnight, which for the most part is not a better choice to do in my opinion. And now it leads to my final thoughts on the Narzo 50i Prime. Does this phone really change the game and the way we look on the super budget phones? Well, I've got to be honest with you. My expectations on getting this phone is super low, to the point that I said, let's just see and don't judge us too hard. And after a week of using this device, I came to the conclusion that this is a decently good phone in its given price point, if you didn't try to be mean with it. There are very few things to like here also. Design is good, performance is decent, cameras are acceptable, and battery life is capable enough. On the other hand, I do wish that the storage on this phone starts at 64 gigs, bloatwares are never a thing here, and the charging speed could be at least 15 watts. But at the end of the day, if you are shopping for a phone that you can give for you or maybe for your loved ones the bare minimum needed without going too overpowered for their use cases, then the Narzo 50i Prime is the perfect candidate to get right now. And its current price tag, it's just the icing on the cake. So, if you have any questions about the Narzo 50i Prime, leave it down here in the comment section below. And for more videos like this, you can check out my review playlist right here. Or if you want to watch my previous video, click right here. And don't forget to subscribe to our main and second channel. Again, I'm your tech buddy James, and I will catch you guys on the next one.